Thank you. My name is Þorgils. I come from the Icelandic newspaper Fréttablaðið, and I would like to ask Commissioner Fule, with the election coming up, there's a possibility that the next government will be anti-EU, and in the case of withdrawal of the accession bid, or it may be being put aside for a while, can the process theoretically be revisited at a later time? And also regarding the fisheries chapter, the screening report on the fisheries chapter is still within the Commission. Do you have any idea when that will be ready? And also for Minister Skarphéðinsson, which of the 6 chapters do you believe is the most significant that we open today?
Do you have more questions? No?
My name is Þorfinnur Ómarsson. I'm a correspondent here in Brussels for Iceland. One question to Mrs. Marcoullis. In your resolution last week from the Council, I noticed that you didn't mention the mackerel dispute at all, and in the draft resolution by Rapporteur Dan Preda, they don't mention the mackerel dispute either. Does that mean that the mackerel dispute is not an obstacle in this process?
And the last question,
Yeah, my name is Sigrún Davíðsdóttir. I work for the Icelandic public broadcaster. My question is, sorry to add this, to Skarphéðinsson. It seems clear that Iceland can't join the EU while the capital control is in place. There isn't exactly a time in sight. It's not foreseeable that the capital control will be abolished anytime soon. How will you juggle these two things?
Minister Skarphéðinsson, you want to start?
Well, Þorgils asked me which of the 6 chapters I thought or considered to be the most important for Iceland. I think I will have to say that the most important one is the one on the monetary policy, because it paves the way for Iceland to start with, to join the ERM2, which will shelter the Icelandic krona, give it more stability, I think lead to lower rates, and also prepare it with the assistance of the European Union for the eventual adoption of the euro. And I, for one, think that is crucial for Iceland's future. I think it, as is implied by the question from Sigrún, it is very, very difficult for Iceland to go into the future with capital controls. And what was important about the opening of this chapter is that in the negotiating position of the European Union, it states quite explicitly that the European Union considers Iceland in such a shape that it can enter the monetary policy. Now that leads me to the answer to Sigrún Davíðsdóttir on how I can juggle the EU accession with the fact that we have capital controls, and that is incompatible with EU. Well, she would know that I'm a famous juggler in politics. And what we are actually doing is that we have put up a committee, working committee with the European Union, with the International Monetary Fund, with the ministry, with the respective ministries in Iceland, and of course the central bank, to address this issue. I'm not a magician. I cannot give you explicit answer to that, but I can assure you that we have got the best minds of the EU, of the Icelandic Central Bank and the IMF to find the solution there too. I could perhaps give you, if I wouldn't have been in my advancing years a bit more cautious than I was before, but I could give you perhaps a scenario or two, but I refrain from that. But this is the answer, really.
Let me say, I understand the question was about the mackerel and why it was not included, or the non-inclusion in. You mentioning the conclusions that we adopted on the 11th, because there was no resolution. It was the conclusions. Of course, the conclusions have a general nature, and they are based on the report of the European Commission, and this is why there is no mention there. But as far as the mackerel issue itself, I would better give the floor to Commissioner Fule to explain regarding this issue.
What about me?
Course.
No, that's exactly the reason.
That's what.